For our segment, Women at the Forefront, you're trying to focus on matters addiction. That will be our focus this morning as we look at just what different women are doing in their spaces. On set, I'm joined by Evangelist Grace Komo, who is the founder of an online radio called Global Radio, based in North Carolina. Grace, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we won't really focus so much on the online radio, but just trying to focus on the other things that you are doing as a person as it pertains to helping persons with addiction and different forms of addictions.
Good.
All right. So maybe we can start from the Valley of Hope. You can tell us what Valley of Hope is all about, how it came about, and what you are doing in that space.
Good. Thank you so much this morning, and thank you for having me. I want to thank God for the opportunity of coming here, especially talk about the Valley of Hope. It's one of the programs that we have on Global Prayer Radio. It's based in North Carolina. And I want to thank God that when the Lord called me in his work, he gave me an opportunity to serve his people. And I have this passion of winning souls. So we came up with the Valley of Hope. The Valley of Hope is based in Hosea 2:15. Okay. It talks about that I will give you your I'll give you your vineyard. That means it's the Lord creating a door in the Valley of Hope. We have many people there in the valley, and they don't believe that God can create a door of hope in the valley. When you are in the valley, you are hopeless. You know there is no hope. Psalms 23 verse 4, it talks about David. He was in the valley, and it says that even though you are walking in the valley of that is like the shadow of death. Yes. Yeah. He said, I fear no evil. Yeah. But in the valley where it's all about the shadow of death, you can find a hope. Okay. So we came up with the Valley of Hope, where the young people, those who are in addiction, they can find hope in the midst of nowhere.
All right. So is the Valley of Hope as a program part of what you're doing in the Global Radio, or it's an entity on itself?
It's a part of what we do in Global Prayer Radio. So we have many, but we love the Valley of Hope.
All right.
Yes.
So, the way you're saying, Valley of Hope coming about in with the whole mindset of at least helping, people that have different form of addictions, and mostly alcohol addiction. And I'm interested in wanting to know why specific. Just focusing on persons with addiction. I mean, there's so many issues in our society that you could have decided, you know what, this is where I probably would want to channel my energy or my finances or my intellectual capacity to. Why specifically addictions?
I know addiction is a broad name.
Yeah.
It has many things, because people can be addicted in different kind of many stuff. Yeah. But the reason why we are like stuck on addiction of alcohol and drugs is because we have a lot of people. Myself, I lost some brothers because of addiction. And I say to myself, God, if you give me an opportunity, I will reach out to those people in addiction. Because it looks like we have a generation, if we don't step out and encourage them and see how we can help them to come out from their situation, we can lose a generation.
Wow. So also for you, it's more of like a personal kind of experience that also influenced that?
Yes, it's a personal, not experience, because I've never been in addiction, but I have passion for those people in addiction. Because when you look at them, and the other thing is that I love winning souls. And wherever I go, I find somebody who is in addiction, I will engage so quickly and try to give them hope and tell them that, you know what, you can become what the Lord promised you that you will become. And when we look up all over the world, especially in our own nation, Kenya, we have a lot of people that if we don't do something now, we can lose a generation.
Wow, that is a beautiful way to just capture that.
Yes.
So you are based in North Carolina, but you came to Kenya. Is it for the same program?
I'm born in Kenya.
Yeah.
And I am a Kenyan.
Okay.
And I'm one of the patriotic Kenyan people. I love my nation.
All right.
I love Kenya, and Kenya is good and it's beautiful. So every time we come here to visit, one of the main things that I always come here is to to reach out to those people who are in addiction. I don't know why the Lord gave me that passion so much. So every time I come here, because I normally come many times, I come and reach out to them because, as I said before, we used to have a rehab. And we have this program that we have a dear sister who always helps us, that help us to reach out to them with outpatient programs. So it's one of the things that when we come here, we normally do, me and my husband.
Okay. So just to pick a difference, if I can mention that, when you look at the addiction rates, where you're based in North Carolina and here where you are born, what would you say are some of the prevailing issues that made people that make people to retreat to addictions, especially alcohol, to be specific?
First of all, addiction is all over in the whole world. There is so much addiction also where I have come from in the United States.
Yeah.
But the difference between is in the States, they have programs. The moment they know somebody's in addiction, we have a lot of rehabs, we have a lot of retreatment centers, we have a lot of counselors. Some of them, they are government. You don't have to pay. At least they have a way out. But here, it's not easy, even to find a counselor who can counsel you to come out from the situation, because addiction is a disease. You know how we take care of the cancer patient?
Yeah.
The same way we should take care of the people who are in addiction.
So you feel that is the contrast, that we do not have adequate or enough programs for such kind of that?
We don't.
Then what can we do?
We need to wake up. And especially now that I know all of us, we pray for our nation, Kenya.
Yeah.
And when we pray for nation, sometimes we even see that if there is something that is going to be done now on behalf of the young people, even the elections that are coming, we will be safe, because the young people, they will be at work, busy. And also programs, some of them, it's not because they are not working, they are working. Actually, the one that we deal with, they work. And one guy was telling us that by the end of the day, he has like a 1K, but no way he can sleep with 1K in the pocket and him. So he has to go and drink. So the problem is the source of where the problem is coming from. So we have to deal with the source first for the young people to be healed. All right.
When you say that part of the persons that you deal with are not quite necessarily people that don't even have an income. A good number of them have an income, probably have jobs and all of that. So does that dispel the fact that poverty is also one of the leading cause of people getting addicted?
Well, poverty is like a backbone.
Okay.
So when you have poverty, and poverty can be poverty of mind.
Oh.
Some of them, they have money.
So it's not what we think, it's just finances.
No, it's not about money. It's not even about food.
Okay.
It is because even upstairs, their mentality, they have poverty. They don't think of how they can spend this money. And it's because there is a source, there is a root. If we don't uproot the root of addiction in our nation, it will never end. So that is where the challenge is.
Okay.
Yes.
When you talk about the root, the cause, and the source, and again, just trying to pick examples from the persons that you've dealt with, it could be young, could be older people. What do you pick? What do you pick as the cause and the root just from those persons?
The root and the cause is from where these drugs or alcohol comes from, because there must be a root. So if this root, if the alcohol, cheap alcohol is still there, people are still selling, they don't even care who they give. They are giving them alcohol, knowing that by the end of the day, this person is going to be addicted, this person is going to be sick, this person is going to be hopeless. So you even wonder, if we love one another and we love our own nation and our brothers and our sisters, why do we allow this cheap alcohol to some place into the people that they are hopeless, first of all, Because alcohol is there. Some people drink. They are smart, they know what they do, what they drink. Some, they even educate their children. How about this one that is like a disease? It's like feeding people the disease giving them, injecting them, waiting for them to die. Because this cheap alcohol, because we have dealt with them since 2002, you can tell when they drink it, all of a sudden they change, you know. You want me to give you an example?
Yeah.
Sunday morning, I went to church in the village. I love going into the village because we have a church of addiction. That one you can come as you are. You come being drunk.
Whether you are addicted or not.
I don't care.
Whether you took
come,
alcohol in the morning or not.
Oh, they do. They come all the time. They come and they are so good anyway when they sing. They even dance more than the people who are
sober.
Yes. So I said I'm going to take a prayer walk to where I know they drink and stand there. So I went for a prayer walk. And I witnessed that there was a room they were entering in. I was almost to enter. But I said, let me not. They went in there sober. And in the next few minutes, like 5 minutes, they were coming out not even being able to stand. And I said, God, how are we going to come out from this? So even the people, the government and the leaders and they know this is the killer. So if the killer can be removed in the nation, especially the cheap alcohol, the nation can be healed.
And you have a lot of passion, you know, for that. Even from the way you speak, I clearly tell you want us to do something as a society.
I was almost to cry because when I think about the people who are in addiction, they make me cry. Because if you have ever lost a brother because of addiction, you know how painful it is. Somebody that even now probably that brother could be alive, but that brother is not alive because of this. Now we have nephews, we have even women the way you have said. You know, there is this one who showed up on Sunday.
Now, I just want you to hold that thought right there. You'll be telling us more about it when we return. But we're still having that conversation surrounding matters of addiction as it pertains to alcohol. When we return, we look at some of the underlying issues, such as could upbringing as well be a factor that leads to most of what we see as it pertains to matters alcoholism and addiction.